What's up, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and we are back on Be For Real podcast. In today's Be For Real podcast, I want to talk about Freeway Rick, and I want to share my thoughts on his multiple interviews about the hit show Snowfall and his views on John Singleton. If y'all don't know who Freeway Rick Ross is, and no, we're not talking about Rick Ross, the used to be P.O. rapper now, mogul type of thing. We're not talking about him. We're talking about one of the biggest American drug traffickers, known to everybody, known worldwide, okay? So we're not taking that away from Freeway Rick Ross. I've watched a lot of interviews that he did, and it wasn't just about that situation. It was about his life and how he really built up this empire while remaining humble. He talked about his incarceration and a lot of different things. So I don't want to make it seem like this is all he talks about, but he has gone deep into how he feels currently, how he felt when Snowfall first came out, and how he felt unapologetically about John Singleton. So, Freeway Rick Ross is 61 years old at this point in time. He is from LA, and he established his empire in the 1980s. Freeway Rick Ross is an author. He was incarcerated in 1996. He was released in 2009 on an appeal that he won. So the charge that he got was a conspiracy to illegally traffic cocaine. Let's talk about Freeway Rick Ross versus Rick Ross. I'm sure that Rick Ross has acknowledged that he got the name from him. I don't know if he did or not, but that was one thing. And Freeway Rick Ross versus John Singleton. Now, he did speak on them crossing paths at one point in time, but it didn't end in violence or anything like that. I don't even know if they really spoke, just because of how his feelings have not changed towards the situation. Now, I believe he had the opportunity to be paid for Snowfall, because we are not going to not acknowledge that that is his story, right? But there was an opportunity for him to be paid, and he wanted more. And call it what you want. Maybe, being a businessman, he saw that Snowfall would be a huge success and huger than the amount that they were willing to pay, and there was no negotiation in the middle. If he countered, I don't see why they couldn't, meet somewhere in the middle and call it a call, so this wouldn't be happening. Especially because John Singleton is not here to speak on it. I feel like somewhat it is inappropriate to keep speaking on a man that is deceased in a way of you not seeing it as disrespect, but it really is disrespect. And I see it as disrespect only because, he doesn't care that he passed on. He doesn't care, the manner of the situation. Him losing his life, I just feel like he doesn't really care about that. He cares more about people acknowledging and him being recognized as the person that actually led this life, right? I think that we all acknowledge that, but, it comes with you feeling salty because you're not getting the residuals. I don't know if there is a way that you can anymore, and if there is, there will be some type of lawsuit against you for slander or saying too much. I don't know. Because who's to say that if he wasn't paid still, he wouldn't feel as though he could come out and say his side? You know, a lot of people say that money silences all, and it should silence some. You know, it should silence things like this where, you know, you're not realizing that it's been made bigger than your story. Snowfall may have been created off of the basis of your story, but it's become huger than what your story was. That's what I feel, especially because John Singleton, his notes and things may still be in the works with the writers, but it's ran by somebody else. You know, who's to say that a lot of people that were involved in Snowfall haven't been switched out? Because that's what they do. Realistically, I feel like it is unfortunate, and that's what I say in any situation between men like Biggie and Tupac and things like that. John Singleton and Freeway Rick Ross could have had a man-to-man conversation, so a lot of these feelings that Freeway Rick Ross has to this day could have been put to rest a long time ago. Who's to say that they will never be put to rest now, you know, just because they didn't have a conversation? A conversation says a lot if you are able to have one, and a mature one. It's not about calling people names. It's not about saying, oh, you a thief, you jacked my story. It's not about saying, if it was John Singleton, it's not about saying, oh, you being greedy, you're being ungrateful, etc. It's not about that. A real conversation is hearing each other out. A real conversation is, even if you don't agree with the other side, at least understanding it, you know, 75% of the way. Like, a real conversation. And a lot of people are not willing to do that, and we see that, you know, to this day with our elders. Me looking at it, I see it like that. I see it like, in any regard, in any situation, I want to have a conversation and then put it to rest, because it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, if it's going to end positive, it's going to end positive. It don't have to end in a paycheck. A conversation don't have to end with a paycheck or a pat on the back, or, you know, it don't have to end in that. It just have to end in both sides having some type of peace from that conversation. Do I feel like to this day Freeway Rick Ross should be paid? Yeah. Because to me it doesn't matter if it got bigger than his story. You know, if the basis, if it started off as a man who is known as one of the biggest drug traffickers that the U.S. seen, he should be broke off, you know? We gotta treat each other better than that. And the start of Snowfall should have been a conversation between both men. It shouldn't have been after Snowfall started. It shouldn't have been, you know, years and years down the road. It should have been before. It should have been when you was getting this story together. You should have came to the source, not really for any add-ons or anything like that, because John Singleton is John Singleton. He can create gold and masterpieces. He has. So it's not surprising to me that Snowfall is this good. But there should have been a conversation years before. Snowfall started in 2017. And John Singleton passed on in 2019. So there was time, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like any type of health condition where your brain is concerned and your body quits on you, I feel like there is some stress within your life that you have to come to peace with, you know? A conversation should have been had for sure. But I mean, we can only say that now as a conclusion. I hope that he comes to peace. Speaking on Freeway Rick Ross, I hope that he comes to peace with this. Even if he doesn't get broke off, that's how stuff go in the black community, and it does need to stop. Like, we need to treat each other better than that. We need to love on each other, respect each other, and learn to come to each other, and don't be afraid to. It's your girl B Octavia. Thank y'all for watching. This is Be For Real Podcast, and I'm signing off.